Hello, welcome to the Inner Goddess Interviews. I'm Thurman, and I'm chatting with women who are unleashing their inner goddesses and following their soul path. And today I am really excited to have the wonderful Sam Livermore. She is a life alchemist and a gladiator of love. And she's really fabulous as well. Amazing. Welcome, thank you for being part of this, and thank you for your patience with my technical troubles.
Thank you, Lynn. Yeah, it's an absolute honour to talk to you and to have a chance to share the love with people today. And don't worry about the technical things, it happens to all of us.
Seems to happen to me more than anyone else. But I'm really glad that we get a chance to connect today. I've been looking over your website and I've known you for a while, and I was really intrigued about the statement that you made on your page that physical disease is a reflection of emotional disease. And as I've just learned, this is something really dear to your heart, and you have an amazing story to tell. Care to share it?
Absolutely, yeah. I have inverted commas. An autoimmune disease. It's called ankylosing spondylitis. It's a genetic type of arthritis, and it's a condition where your body attacks itself in a way that it recognizes all the healing cells as actually invaders, so it attacks itself. And then in the healing process, any areas of inflammation where you've got arthritis is sort of specifically in the spine, in the healing process it over-calcifies and it fuses your bones together.
Oh my God.
It's quite a serious thing. And I think I got diagnosed with that when I was 27, and in the beginning it wasn't so bad, but I had a huge flare-up when I was probably like 32 or something like that. But looking back on that, I recognised that actually the flare, because I was managing it quite well, the huge, where it sort of overtook my life, I think was a huge reflection of the emotional issues that I was going through at the time. I had terrible time at school. I held on to, I went through all that teenage angst and I was bullied quite a lot, and because I was a bit different to people, I was a bit quirky, I was a bit weird, when I bunked off school, I didn't go to the park with everyone else. I usually went to the art gallery, right, or Covent Garden, and looked around mysteries and shops like that. So everyone thought, this is a bit strange.
Good spirit, Sam.
But I think through my 20s, I covered a lot of that sort of up with, alcohol, drinking a lot of alcohol, clubbing to extremes, all of those things that you cover up that inner self with, that pain on the inside. You use all that external stuff. I spent a lot of money, I got into debt, you go through all those sort of things. And then actually I went into therapy, and I did therapy for 2 years, and I got over all that stuff, and realising all that stuff. But as I said to someone last week, intellectually, I'd dealt with my demons intellectually, but actually it was at that point when I was sort of in early 30s that unconsciously on the inside I really still had that real deep down self-loathing. I didn't love myself at all intellectually. I thought I dealt with everything, but I really hadn't. And that's when the autoimmune disease really took over my life, and I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything. At one point I couldn't even really walk. I was using a walking stick, and I really wasn't going out, and it was quite tragic. when I look back on it.
Yeah, at such a young age. It's really interesting that you mentioned like early 30s, because for myself, I also had, I think it was like my late 20s, early 30s, where my life sort of really went down the pan. And I was just reading this week, someone else mentioned 30s. It seems like 30 seems to be the magic age where
Yeah.
you have all this crap hit you, and you've either got to deal with it or you don't, and you kind of wither. And
Yeah. I've read into that as well. I think this is called Saturn returns, where that's around, that's when you're usually around that age. Saturn returns back to your birth chart, and so it kicks up this huge storm in your life. So you either go one way or the other, because I've seen that pattern with other people as well. So I think that's what it is. And you go for it, and you either deal with it or you don't.
yeah.
And I mean, it took me a good, probably about 5 years to really face what I'd gone through. And you know, I really went deep, dark into that sort of, you know, life is bad. And then it was, I was in a charity shop. This is how it happened. I was in a charity shop, and I came across this book by Louise Hay, called "You Can Heal Your Life." And you know, I was really into psychology at that point. I'd actually trained as a counsellor, and I spent 3 years after going through therapy. I'd actually trained as a counsellor and stuff like that. Didn't really enjoy it. You know, I did it for a year and thought, well, it's not really a job for me. It's a bit depressing, actually. Right? Yeah. And then I found this book, "You Can Heal Your Life," and as I started reading it, I was like, wow, you know, your emotional disease is a reflection of you know, it manifests as a physical disease, and all the stuff about arthritis, and especially about the spine, you know, talks about you not feeling supported in life. And I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Is that how you did feel at that point when you had the massive flare up?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'd gone into a job that was not the job that I'd been promised. You know, it was in a school, and they was trying to get me to do other things that wasn't really my job that I'd actually gone for, and no one really supporting me in the environment at all. You know, the line manager wasn't supportive, and yeah, and I think some of the people that were around me in my circle at that time, that thankfully I don't know anymore, you know, that was not supporting me, and I saw that as a huge reflection of that. So you know, it's quite an amazing thing to have that discovery, and it's taken me a few years to go on that path. And really, when I first started going on that self-healing path, it was an in and out thing. You know, it was a dipping into it and then hitting a little thing, and then you think, oh no, that's really too painful, I don't want to go there, and going back again. It's really not until you really dig deep and actually face it and then go through that you can make that healing possible, and really fall in love with yourself.
That's, I think, what really resonated with me on your website is that you call yourself a gladiator of love, and you know, you think of gladiators like Russell Crowe, all kind of manly and butch and half naked, and then you have love at the end, and that's a nice feminine like emotion, and it's everywhere. But I think that the truth is that you have to be almost aggressive with self-love. You can't just hit it softly, especially if you've got demons to face, haven't you? It is like a personal battle.
Yeah.
So that really resonated with me. I'm like, yeah, go Sam, go Sam.
Yeah, I think that just comes from being really aggressive and really going for the whole self-love thing, and doing it in stages. And the further I've gone along the path, you know, I'm getting into different layers of self-love. I mean, first of all, I think, before you can fall in love with yourself, you've got to forgive yourself. I think that's where it starts. You know, you've got to have a forgiveness for who you are, what you've done to yourself, you know, the mistakes you've made, and all of those things, and the relationships you've had. And once you can truly forgive yourself, then you can really start on that path, you know. And I've had many layers of self-love over the last year. You know, it started off with the food, you know, really changing what I'm putting into my body, cutting out processed foods, processed sugar, you know, going gluten-free, dairy-free. I mean, it was a step. I didn't do all at once. You know, it was just a step along the way. And then the people that I'm with, creating the circle around me of all people who are positive and loving. And now my current level of self-love is actually getting out of debt, which is another level altogether. You know, honouring myself, of not throwing money away and being purposeful with my money.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? I mean, I think debt is kind of a lesson that we all go through. Some of us longer than others.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one, Sam.
Several times, because I already learned this lesson once in my 20s. And went through it all again, and now I'm 44. Do I have to learn this all over again? Yeah.
That's another thing with self-love as well. I think that some of the lessons do repeat, and in my experience as well, if you don't get them the first time, sometimes the second time they come around, they're even harder.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my advice is always like, pay attention to your intuition the first time and just do it.
Yeah, it's like I said, help yourself with a brick. Like, really, do you have to learn this one again?
I think it's an important message though, because like there's so many self-help books out there and websites and people, and they make it sound so easy that to make permanent changes in your life you have to do it once, when really it's a cycle, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
it's not easy. Yeah. I don't like these people who say, you know, it's all airy fairy and just forget about all that stuff that you went through and everything's happy. You've really got to face your demons to come out on the other side. Absolutely. And you know, you've got to unleash that inner goddess. You've got to get right in there and then meet Kali, and you know, and all that stuff.
Exactly.
You know, really important to do that.
I think we need more people, more women to come forward and say, you know, it is a journey, and you don't just stop there and get perfect, and then there's unicorns and butterflies and fairies everywhere, and life's perfect. We need people to see that it is a journey, and to be honest and truthful and share our stories about these kind of things.
Yeah.
So I applaud you, Sam, for helping me do this. I want to go back to your autoimmune disease.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because you just shared with me that you're in the clear, that you've just had results, and you're absolutely, I'm going to use this, normal.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have these blood tests every 6 months, and I saw the consultant in November, and they test for you know, your red blood cell count, white blood cells, the level of inflammation in your blood, all these different things. And when I went in November, he was like, about your blood tests, when did you have these? And I said, oh, just last week. And he said, okay, well, they're normal. I was like, what do you mean normal? It's like, yeah, they're normal. I was like, okay, do you mean normal for me or normal? Because I was confused. Even though when I went in there, I knew that they was going to be different because of the amount of work I'd been doing on myself. So he was like, yeah, they're actually normal. So whatever you're doing, keep doing that. Because he was just like, okay, that's a bit weird. So I said to him, oh, well, I've changed my diet this year. I've done all these different things. I'm meditating every day. I said flinch slightly when I said I meditate every day. Right. He's like 68 or something, and he doesn't believe in all the alternative stuff. So.
But you're proof there. It works.
Yeah, and when I had said to him on a previous appointment, I've been reading this research about how meditation can really impact the immune system, and they're using it in this trial with people with arthritis. And he was like, yeah, well, one won't take too much notice. So he was very, very cynical. So when I said to him, I meditate every day, and he sort of flinched, he just said, yeah, well, okay, just keep doing whatever you're doing. So, and then I went back in May for the next set, and they're all still the same. They're all still normal, apart from my vitamin D level was low. But apparently that is normal for most British people after the winter.
I can imagine. I'm surprised anyone ever gets any high levels of vitamin D. You have to get it in these 2 weeks heat wave and top limit for the year.
Yeah, so it's pretty amazing that that it encourages me to carry on going and doing what I'm doing.
How do you feel in yourself compared to where you were when you were diagnosed and then the flare-up to right now? How amazing do you feel from investing in self-love?
Just wow! I've got so much more energy. I've got so much more energy on a daily basis, and I really do think that is just the love flowing through me. Being love, sharing love, giving love, receiving love. I really think it's like a real force. It is a force for life that not enough people really utilise. It's a very real energy.
And you were out this weekend in London at the South Bank spreading the love even more, weren't you? So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Tell us about the letters.
Yeah, I'm an ambassador of love for Global Love Letters. That's something that was started just over 2 years ago by Simon Paul Saturn, and we write anonymous love letters to people to find, and we just leave them wherever. And it's just a letter that starts to you or dear you, and then you share whatever is coming through you at that time, whatever your message of love is. And then we just sign it, I love you, and just put it in an envelope, and it says to you or for you on the envelope, and then we just go round and leave them in random places. And
that's amazing.
And the amazing thing about it is that whoever that message is meant for always goes to the person that it's meant for. It's real sort of like a delivery by the universe. We was at the Mind Body Spirit Festival in London in May. We had a stand there, and there was over 4 days. I mean, there's a core group of us of like 6 people, but other people came on different days to sit and write, to run the love letters with us. And we were just encouraging people at the festival to come and sit and write love letters and take them out into the world. And the letters that we was writing, we was dropping around the festival for visitors to find. And the amount of people that came up to us during the day and said, I've just found this letter. I can't believe it was just the message that I needed right now. I can't believe, how did you know that?
Oh, that's amazing. Where can people find out more about Global Love Letters? Because it sounds like it should be something that everybody does.
Absolutely, yeah. You can go to the website globalloveletters.com, and you can find us on Facebook under the same name, and on Twitter we're at Global Love Lets. We just, you find on our Facebook page lots of posts of pictures of where we've left letters. not just me, the other people that are doing it as well. And
Oh,
yeah, you find some little videos on there as well about.
okay. You've got a new convert already. I'm going to do it. It sounds amazing. I think, is there anything else that you'd like to share, or have you got a message? Have you got a message for women who are kind of like in our age group, who may also be having some physical problems? What's your message for self-love? How can they start?
I think the first thing to start with is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for any bad choices that you've made. To forgive yourself for feeling the way that you feel. And you have to, I guess you can't just say, oh, I forgive me, you know. I think really to meditate on it, just even if you've never meditated before, you know, just start with a couple of minutes a day, just to really go in and just feel your heart more than anything, to really meditate on your heart and just forgive yourself. That's where I start when I'm coaching people on self-love. That's the first point I start with them, is to just go within and forgive yourself, and then we can start from there. Yeah,
That's great. So if someone really is stuck, because self-love is kind of, I think because we all get so busy and life takes over, it's kind of confusing to most people, but they can come to you because you've got your wonderful website and you coach in self-love, so you can help them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can find me at alchemy-u.com. You'll also find some videos on there from my sofa. I do a vlog, Sam's Sofa, where I talk to inspirational people on my sofa. Yeah. They all started as well because I just wanted to talk to normal people that have a message of inspiration, because that's also a message of love. You know, normal people putting love out into the world. Yeah.
That's great. I am so thankful for that that you showed me the love and helped me come over my technical difficulties today.
Actually, I'm reading a book, and one of the things that I read last night was about the frequency of positive energy often interferes with technical issues.
I'm going with that one. It wasn't the fact that I couldn't work out my equipment, it was my energy.
You have such high energy, just interfered with it.
I really like that. So thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I wish you all the success with your life alchemist, your self-love, being the gladiator of love, and the love letters. And I'm going to go and get myself signed up and start doing them as well. So thank you so much, Sam. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hope we can do this again soon.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Yeah. Thank you.